Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price today. Is over the weekend, we've seen Bitcoin's price come down from this major support level, finding it as a resistance at 48,500, and we already came down slightly below the $44,800 support level. I want to talk about exactly what's happening to Bitcoin, whether or not we're going to continue to see upside, or if we're going to break down. Remember, it is the weekend, so this is when we see the most amount of manipulation in the markets due to CME futures being closed. But we're also going to look at Ethereum. You can see we broke down from this major support level, and we are now finding it as a resistance. We have yet to close any hourly candles back above this support level. I want to talk about the implications of this, and we also have this monthly open as a potential downside target for Ethereum, and I'll talk about exactly how that scenario may play out. And then we'll look at Ethereum to Bitcoin. Of course, you can see, just like the Ethereum to US dollar chart, we're seeing weakness here back below this support, now finding it as a resistance level. And then we'll look at Bitcoin dominance, of course, others dominance, and traditional markets saw a major pullback. We'll look at oil, we'll look at international markets and the S&P 500, and talk about how that can affect the cryptocurrency market. You guys are watching the Snipers channel. My name is Naeem Al-Abeidi. If you appreciate this content, remember to like this video. I first want to talk about what Bitcoin is doing. You can see, just like we talked about, this $48,500 level was a major support level, and when we look at the hourly candles that closed below this level, as soon as we closed below this level, we saw a push all the way down towards that $44,800 level, just as we predicted. These numbers are extremely critical, as I've always told you guys, so do not underestimate the importance of these major support and resistance levels that I put on these charts. Of course, this was the previous weekly open. You can see currently we've yet to come back above this major resistance, and at this point for me, when we look at what's happening to Bitcoin, we are seeing some weakness, and I want to be the umpire at all times. I never want to give you guys just bullish or bearish biases. I want to give you guys the neutral perspective on things. So realize that we did form a lower low here, and at this point, because we broke 44,800, that is a puzzle piece on the table. And typically with price action, when you reach a destination, you turn around and immediately go the other way. But if you're sitting here and having a cup of coffee like what Bitcoin is doing at this area, then this is most likely not the final destination for Bitcoin. And so at this point, it is the weekend. We have to be very cautious on how the price action shows us, what the potential of the week will look like. But of course, realize that as we head into Sunday, if we start closing hourly candles below 44,800 US dollars, that would be a very weak sign for Bitcoin, and we could potentially come back down to retest the previous all-time high here at 41,950 US dollars. And so if we start to close hourly candles below this level, then this will come into the equation. But realize that when we look at the 6-hour chart, we do have this 200 period moving average coming up and almost above that $41,950 area. But if we look at the 4-hour chart, we've already seen the 200 period moving average come above 41,950. So at this point for me, we know this 200 period moving average on the 4-hour can act as a major support. If we break down right now from 44,800, the first sign of a more bearish case is going to be if we break down from the 4-hour 200 period moving average, or we could come down, test this, break 44,800, and just see this reverse back to the upside and then continue a longer consolidation in this area. Because realize that this previous weekly open is not going to matter as much anymore. As we open into the new week, we'll actually move that to the current weekly open, because this is going to be the new level. Of course, when the weekly open resets on Monday, this will be the previous weekly open, but we'll move that on the chart tomorrow, of course. And if you guys are subscribed to our YouTube channel, you know we always have the previous weekly open in the green. And so if we want to assume any bullish action for Bitcoin, we need to get above 48,500 as soon as possible. Of course, when Monday comes around, this level won't matter as much anymore, and we've already flirted with this level many times, and so we will watch and see what happens there. But even if we come down to 44,800, we could still have a bullish reversal if we see strength and volume come in at the 200 period moving average for the 4-hour chart. And then of course, from that point on, we want to get back above the other two moving averages here that are sitting right around that $51,500 level. We've got the 50 period and the 100 period here. And so coming down to test the 200 and then going back above the 50 and 200 period would be the bullish case if we start breaking down. But if we start breaking below this 4-hour 200 period moving average, then we want to watch the previous all-time high at 41,950, and there could be a potential we come down even lower from there, and then that would indicate we definitely have a local top, because if we come to retest a previous all-time high, now this consolidation will start bleeding in to the previous price action, and that could lead us even lower. And so it is a very critical time in the markets. A lot of things are happening. It's not just Bitcoin seeing weakness right now. We look at the total cryptocurrency market, you can see we are below the previous weekly open right now. We've yet to test this 200 period moving average on the 6-hour chart. And then when we look at Ethereum to the US dollar, realize that I've talked about the weakness that is clearly present here with Ethereum, and a lot of this has to do with fundamentals. In the Binance Smart Chain, we're seeing a lot of liquidity move away from the Ethereum smart contracts into the Binance Smart Chain, and so we failed to form a higher high at this point. We formed a lower high and came back down, and then we broke this major support level. So when we look at what's happening to Ethereum, we have to get above this major support at this point, which is acting as a resistance, if we want to assume any more upside for Ethereum. If we stay below this level, we continue to close these hourly candles below this major support, realize that we do have this monthly open here for Ethereum at 1312. I believe that will certainly act as a beautiful long opportunity for Ethereum, at least in the micro. In the macro, if we come down to this monthly open, we want to get back above this support level once we bounce from there. But realize that the more we stay below this major area, the more likely it is to come down to retest this monthly open. And so we want to get above this. Remember, it is the weekend, so we are going to see some manipulation in this market. And then we look at the 6-hour, you can see the 200 period moving average is kind of just sitting here acting as a life support for Ethereum's price. Of course, this level does not matter as much anymore now that we've broken it, we've tested it, and we're below it and on top of it. And having a cup of coffee on here obviously wasn't the destination, because if it was, we would have immediately seen price action reverse to the upside, but we've yet to see that. And so this monthly open is going to be critical, and I think a lot of what happens to Ethereum will have to do with what happens to Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin is able to get above this previous weekly open at 48,500, then Ethereum could get back above that support level. But if we continue to stay below here and then come back down to 44,800, Ethereum is definitely at jeopardy, and it could even see even more losses than Bitcoin, because of the fact that we're in such a breakdown phase right now, of course. And when we look at the other markets, which we'll take a look at, you'll realize exactly what I'm talking about. You can see the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart finding resistance here at this previous support level. That does not show good signs for Ethereum. And then when we look at the total market with dominance, you can see Bitcoin dominance doing exactly what we want. We're actually below the previous weekly open, the weekly open, and the monthly open. And to me, that says that despite the weakness that we're seeing in the US dollar value of this market, we're still seeing strength in the cryptocurrency narrative, especially with these altcoins. You can see others' dominance above the weekly and monthly open and previous weekly open, even above all 6-hour moving averages. And so that to me is very positive. When we look at others' dominance, we could potentially see more altcoins gain traction if Bitcoin starts to move. So we will keep watching this, but this shows a lot of confidence in the altcoins in the market, which is very positive. Now, the reason we're seeing such weakness right now is the DXY ended up closing the week with strength out of nowhere. You can see this daily candle went all the way from below the weekly and monthly open and previous weekly open to coming all the way above and closing right at this major level that we've been watching for the DXY. And I've told you guys to watch this chart because it will have an effect on the markets. And so with the DXY right now, we're currently at a critical resistance, which is 91.015. Remember, the 2017 bear market started when the DXY found strength and came into this bullish trend at the same support level that we're currently consolidating at. And so that's why this is extremely important to me. What I'm watching for this DXY as we start to see futures markets open on Monday is, are we going to be coming up towards this 100 period moving average and the channel resistance and breaking this level? Because if that happens and we come through and break through, that could show us that there might be even more downside in traditional markets, cryptocurrencies, and precious metals because of the fact that the dollar is strengthening, and we could potentially be seeing a reversal or another relief rally. But realize that since we've started this downtrend for the DXY, we've never came above the 100 period moving average. And so I don't necessarily consider this a relief if we break the 100 period moving average. I would consider that a potential reversal of the trend, which would put us in a whole different mindset when trading these markets, especially with cryptocurrencies being so volatile, because if the dollar is coming up in value, then we know what that could do to cryptocurrency. So we have to watch this chart. When we look at precious metals, gold ended the week with weakness, breaking a major support level. We look at US oil ending the week down 3%. And I think a lot of this has to do with what's happening in international markets. You can see Japanese traditional markets ending the week with a very bearish candle, looking like it's going to continue to the downside as we start to see the new week open below the weekly open. And then we look at the Shanghai Composite. You can notice here, same thing. A lot of weakness actually below the 50-day moving average is where we closed with a bearish wick and heading towards the monthly open. Same thing here with the Hong Kong traditional markets below the 50-day moving average, and then that all is affecting the US traditional markets, of course, with the S&P 500 closing just above the 50-day moving average. But it looks like we could have a potential local top here depending on how the week opens. There is a lot of sell pressure here, so we want to watch this, because if we start to see traditional markets dump, we could see the S&P 500 come down to the monthly open at 36.95, and if that continues lower, that could have an effect on the cryptocurrency market. We have yet to test this 100 period moving average. The last time that happened was on October 30th for the S&P 500. So we do want to keep those fundamentals in mind. But with Bitcoin, as long as we're able to maintain price action above 44,800, I am not going to just run into a bearish mode. Of course, I'm always going to be the umpire regardless of if we're going up or down. And what you have to realize is right now we are showing signs of weakness for Bitcoin's price. We've broke this $44,800 level after breaking this major support level at 48,500, and I told you guys that would be the more weaker and bearish scenario if it were to happen. It's exactly what's happening. So at this point, if we want to assume upside for Bitcoin, we want to see ourselves get above 48,500, preferably before Monday, so that we could open the week with strength. But if we continue to see weakness and just lack of volume, of course, especially if traditional markets are coming down, then Bitcoin has the chance of seeing more downside, potentially to retest that $41,950 area. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys want to win one of my favorite books on investing, Trading Psychology, the Bible for traders, all you have to do is comment below and share this video, and I'll pick a winner for our video 2 days ago. I apologize for not having a video yesterday. There wasn't much happening in the market, so I didn't see as necessary, and I am in Newport Beach for an event with a company that I advise. But I will pick a winner for the book giveaway here. Let's see. Nicole says, Naeem, thank you so much. I was looking yesterday at joining the TPC, and today you're all sold out of memberships. Sounds like my trading norm is a little too late. That's why I need it. Yes, we did close access to our premium group. We did hit max capacity, and so I will let you guys know if that ever opens back up. But for those already in, congratulations, you guys have already made the cut. Nicole, if you want to go ahead and get that book, send me a message on Instagram. The link is in the description below, and you won Trading Psychology. And for those that want to enter into this giveaway, just comment below, and I will be happy to send you guys a book if you guys win the giveaway on our video tomorrow, of course. And with that being said, we will monitor what's happening in the markets as this continues to progress. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Snipers out.